Ah, the good old days. Oh, hey guys, it's me. Shut up, Tyler. Guys, we've been waiting for about 3 years for me to make this video, but we're finally going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Splatoon 2. Right, no real point on wasting time here. Let's get down to it. So, you already know how to play Splatoon. I mean, you should have. You watched the first video, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about some of the old stuff, the new stuff, what I like about each and every one of it, though. And then we're going to leave some of my final thoughts with it at the end of this, though. I know it's going to be a little bit of a long one, though, but I have a lot of sentimental value, just a heads up. But first, Part 1, the multiplayer. So, the good thing about Splatoon 2 is it brought back nearly everything from the first game. With a couple of minor exceptions being like the little mini games you could play on the Wii U gamepad. And, with a couple weapons, but other than that, though, everything's still the same. You got your little dancing mini game. You can play, like in LAN play and all that stuff too, and then you can do all that, and then, so at least that's all done though. But unfortunately, that kind of does bring the pace down when you're trying to get matches going. But still, matches still good. Fundamentally, nothing was changed with that though. It just made the gameplay a little faster, bigger maps to kind of play around with too. But kind of like with the first game, there are some weapons and specials that are better, some for worse. All the modes and that stuff too came back, like tower control, everything else kind of came back. So if you like that stuff, congrats, it's back. Unfortunately, nothing too substantial, but I don't think in a game like this you really need to have stuff like that. But anyways, I think the matches and the flow of the games feel a lot better. It doesn't feel as stiff as it did in the first game. But I do think that, at least talking about the game though, is that it is a lot easier too, like being able to add friends and stuff, getting matches in. You don't have to wait 4 hours to play new maps, and you can just hop in other stuff too. Although I really hope in Splatoon 3 a lot of this stuff gets fixed. I really do think that some of the problems from the first game are still here, and if some of them are just more exemplified than others. But there is some other stuff too, like you could have easier accessibility getting gear and stuff, like little amiibo stuff you can get to cash and other stuff too. And pretty much other stuff too, although I think other things like the photo mode and preset gear shit in like Fortnite that's already in the base game instead of pay for amiibo, I think that definitely needs to get like pretty much more mainstream into the third game. But personal gripes with that too, I think that could be still fun, like a lot of the multiplayer stuff too, but I think we should talk about the single player. Part 2, the story mode from base game. So, I don't know if y'all know this, but Splatoon is actually, throughout its whole series, has had a lot of developmental issues, and man, it's kind of very apparent in the single player. Don't get me wrong, it's fine, but these stages just do not hold a candle at all to the first game. And you do have more content, like being able to have 9 weapons, and the bosses and stuff too are pretty fun. But man, they just do not hold a candle to the originality of the first game. And I think a lot of that holds true to the stages too. Like just walking into it, it's just mostly just platforms and just space and stuff, which is fine, but it really doesn't highlight a lot of the cool aspects. But thankfully, Part 3, Octo Expansion and Grisco/Salmon Run. Octo Expansion really is what the single player should have been from the beginning. You have a lot of cool stages with a lot of different like challenges and stuff too. And it takes a lot of the good stuff from the first game and like the single player and stuff like that and brings it all to. My biggest gripe with this is it is $20 DLC, which ain't bad, especially if you're a Nintendo expansion member online. You can get this for free, but I do think that is kind of a big problem with this. But I still think that this is one of the best parts of Splatoon 2 is just the single player and how much content it just gives you. It's not bad though, I recommend it. But what I also recommend to you is Grisco, or more accurately, Salmon Run. Pretty much it's like a 3-round mode where you and 3 other people, instead of going off and inking turf, you're pretty much trying to survive and collect eggs, which is nice because you can get cool rewards and stuff like that too. You also have some gripes with it too. You know, you're only limited to one stage and 4 weapons for like a couple days, which I admit it kind of gets lame, and you only can go so far before words actually start not mattering anymore. I still think that this is a good mode though, and it pretty much gives you a lot of tests your knowledge and your capability as a player, which is nice. Especially too, it gives a nice break too. But I don't think it holds a candle to Part 5, Splatfest in Splatoon 2. It's party time, baby. Okay, yeah, I know, it cop out, but hear me out. Yeah, I know that this was the best part of the first game too, but man, it is just so much better here in the second game. You get customizable stages, like different themes, more colors that you normally can't get in single player and multiplayer and stuff like that, which is nice. Cool gimmicks with most of these stages too, except Bounty Twins. And a lot of this stuff too was just cool because you got a lot of East nails and stuff too. And yeah, no, I think this was just a highlight, and especially to the 10 and 100x battles you could get. Really cool, especially being able to show that off with your friends on like social media, like Twitter and stuff like that. I've done it plenty of times. One of the best parts of this, please, oh, but your turn, Splatoon 3. Part 5, the personal connection I have to Splatoon 2. Hey, real quick, I just really want to talk about some of these funny glitches here. Yeah, I mean, this game was, I mean, both games could do this, but, you know, well, 2 and 2, I was able to get a lot of these, though, too. I mean, just breaking barriers, you know, just being able to do this stuff. It was pretty fun. But, anyways, I do want to get to the point, though, is that, yes, I do think that it is slightly above Splatoon 1, but I'm not going to lie, I do miss the vibe of the first one more, but I think it's a sequel. It does what it needs to do. It adds a lot more to it, to the world, the gameplay, all that stuff, and I think that's what's most important, though. And I do think that Splatoon 3 probably will excel, but I am also a little worried it's just going to be Splatoon 2 New Game Plus. But with that being said, though, is that I hold this as one of my favorite video games. Not really because of how much it improved it, but really mostly the nostalgia and connection I have with this, though. And that's really because I got to meet so many of my friends. I'm going to put that in a montage in a second here, but, you know, without them, I wouldn't be in a lot of the communities and stuff, too. So I kind of wanted to just take a moment to just appreciate and thank all those that have been me over the last about 4 years of me playing this game. You know, just saying thank you very much, everybody, from the bottom of my heart. Hoping for many years to come now. But, yeah, no, I mean, I think that this is, sorry, I met a lot of people, sorry. Well, you know, it's that there is a lot to it, though, that I'm very grateful for, just meeting online or in person, you know. But with that being said, I think it is time to call a session. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.